It's everyone's favorite mono faction BakuTuber here with another Bakugan Evolutions deck profile. I'm BakuBrad96 and this time I'm going to be reviewing my new list for mono Aquos. So thank you all for tuning in and I hope you enjoy. I'm going to go ahead and start off with the team. So I am using Aquos Warrior Whale. It is a double green fist or double regular fist user B power of 800 with 1 damage. And if you land on a regular fist, you do get to remove an opposing active Bakugan's Bakucore. So 800, not that strong, but when you consider landing on a regular fist gets to remove the opponent's Bakucore, that's going to take them down to base B power, so you have more of a shot of winning. Plus, I do like the prospect of removing Bakucore. I am trying to use the new mechanics in all of my updated deck profiles. So yeah, part of the reason why I chose Warrior Whale and also Nanogan. Got to keep those in mind. Next up, I did take out the Aquos Core Dragonoid for Aquos Halcore. Now, B power wise, the Dragonoid was better, getting up to 14. Halcore can only get up to 1300 B power, but Halcore has a lot more damage, and I really liked that. So anyway, Aquos Halcore, double regular shield, B power of 400 with 6 damage. And then if it lands on a regular shield, you do get plus 500 B power and plus 5 damage. So assuming, well, in my build, I am using the plus 400 to Aquos and Pyrus. So right there, that's 9 and 4 is 1300, and then 5 is 11 damage on Halcore. Crazy B power, so very nice. The only other Aquos Bakugan I can think of that's this good as far as damage is the new Neo Hydrus in the Platinum series, which is a Amazon exclusive. I will be ordering that soon, and I will probably be adding it to this deck, so I'll have to update it again. But anyway, Halcore definitely the choice for now. And then the third Bakugan on the team is Platinum Wrath. Double Helix, B power of 900 with 4 damage. So definitely using this over the Aquos Blitzfox that I was using, just because, again, more reliable, not as much of a downside damage-wise. So yeah, definitely using the Aquos Tiger. For Nanogan, had to use what I thought was best. So I have Nano Riptide. On a regular fist and shield, you get to remove an opposing Bakugan's Bakucore. On 2 regular fists and a regular shield, you get to do the same, but you get plus 1400 B power as well. So very nice. Pretty decent disruption for Nanogan. Then I am using Aquos Siphon, which I don't know about all of your opinions, but Siphon seems to be one of the strongest Nanogan of evolutions printed, like just in all of its factions, no matter what. It has been super strong. It's all about adding a Bakucore, and this is no exception. So Aquos Siphon, on a regular shield, you get to add a Bakucore. On a regular shield and a regular fist, you get to add a Bakucore, and you get plus 200 B power. So very powerful Nanogan. I definitely recommend picking up this bad boy if you can, because it's just really strong, especially for shield decks, which, yeah, just I had so much potential, and when I start like mixing factions next week for decks, this Siphon's going to come in handy, I can just imagine. And then lastly, I do have Helix, so I have to use the All-Star Sludgeum. On a Helix, you get to add a Bakucore, and then on Helix and a regular fist, you get to steal a Bakucore. So very good. You know, I think this is used all around in Aquos competitively. I've heard a ton of people on my server talk about it, so I know you all like Sludgeum. I do too. Very strong. For the team, of course, we have Warrior Whale, Chunky Aquos. Oh, he fell. Don't know if he'll be able to stay up there without a core. So I will go through the Bakucore first, that way I can put up the team. So 2 Helix, plus 500 B power and minus 1 damage. Again, I didn't want to lose so much damage for the B power. I felt like losing 1, especially on Wrath or any of the others, is fine given how much damage they have. And plus 500 is definitely worth it. Even Warrior Whale with the 800, that gets it up to 13 with no damage. And that's not too terribly awful. 2 regular shield, plus 400 B power to Aquos and Pyrus. And then you can probably imagine the regular fist plus 100 B power, and then Aquos and Pyrus get plus 3 damage. So pretty basic as far as Bakugan are concerned. Now then, Warrior Well, Halcor, which does have the little tail that can pop out, and then Warrior Well does have the little feet at the bottom here. And then lastly, it is Platinum Wrath. So this is a Bakugan that I just recently reviewed. Make sure to go check out that video if you did miss it. I did review, I think it was wave 3 of the Platinum series. So now that I have all those reviews out, definitely want everyone to catch up. Check those out if you haven't already. And speaking of the devil, make sure you're subscribed to the channel because I do have monthly giveaways. And I did pick up a second Elemental Platinum Feral. So that will probably be on the poll for next month's giveaway, along with the Nova Pyrus Dragonoid. So definitely a ton of giveaway prizes to subscribe for in the future. Getting back to this video, however, let's go ahead and get into the main deck. 2 copies of Ninja Gear, 0 energy to retract one of your open Bakugan. So this is just really strong if you want to continually roll the same Bakugan. For this deck, as far as B power, I considered rolling Wrath over and over again. But really, if you can win the brawls, roll Halcor because 11 damage over and over on shields, very powerful. 2 copies of Deep Dive, 1 energy to draw a card, and you may reroll your Bakugan. Honestly, I feel like this is just a staple for Aquos. If you're going to try to run mono faction builds like I do primarily, you definitely want to get the staples that seem to pop up everywhere, and Deep Dive is one of those. I have 2 copies of Aquos Shield, 2 energy for plus 200 B power, and then if Aquos, you do get to draw a card. So drawing cards in Bakugan, just kind of talk about that for a minute. It goes 50-50. It'll either help you or it'll really hurt you because your deck, your main deck is your life total, so you definitely have to watch how many cards you draw. 1 copy of Bubble Net, 2 energy for plus 300 B power, and then retract your Bakugan at the end of the turn. Again, being able to reuse your same ace Bakugan over and over again on a team, and wait till you get the cards to say make Warrior Well stronger. It just makes sense. 3 copies of Chomping Tornado, 2 energy for plus 500 B power is just solid. Same reason why I am running Ice Barrier, 2 energy for plus 400 B power. It's a little weaker, but cannot complain. After all, you only get 5 cards to start your opening hand. So I'm still using Geogan in this build, and I did mean to switch things around before I had recorded this deck profile, but I wanted to leave Aquos as it was until I got the Neo Hydrus so I could update it again. I know that's kind of cheesy, but that's how I wanted to do it. So I still have the 3 copies of Aquos Mantropod, 2 energy for a B power of 1200, and then 4 damage. And then of course it does have Victor, so if this is the 3rd open Bakugan on your team, this does initiate a team attack, which is very powerful nonetheless. Going ahead and keeping it going though, next up is 3 copies of Razorfin, 2 energy for plus 3 damage, and you do get 1 Frost Strike. Frost Strike doesn't come up too much in this specific build, but being able to add to the damage is nice. I know Halcor doesn't need it, but Warrior Well and Wrath could use the plus 3 damage, especially if your opponent has any kind of disruption or damage reducing cards. You're definitely going to want to add those back. So then it is 1 copy of Strata, so this is the Aquos version. 2 energy for a hero, and all players draw an additional card each turn. Just kind of puts both of us on a faster clock, if you will. The chance to mill out or draw all of your cards is faster. Kind of just speeds up the game. 2 copies of Flip Strike, 3 energy for plus 700 B power. I would knock an Ice Barrier for a 3rd copy of Flip Strike if I had it, just because 3 for 7 is a lot better than 3 copies of 2 for 4. Next is 2 copies of Ice Sickle, 3 energy for plus 6 damage. Just kind of help with the damage side of the team. 2 copies of Improvised Armor for the same thing, 3 energy for +2 damage, but you do get to draw 2 cards along with this as well. My Aquos deck kind of does revolve around drawing cards into a fast kill, using either Mantra Pod or Stingzer coming up. But I do have 1 copy of Solitude in case all things go bad, 3 energy for +1000 B power if you only have 1 open Bakugan. So if you retract all your Bakugan to where you only have 1 open, or if your opponent is just beating you and say you've only won with 1, this is kind of just a help card, plan B if you will. Then of course Stingzer here, 2 copies, 3 energy for a B power of 800 and then 8 damage. And if it lands on a Helix, +1000 B power. So in this build, Stingzer landing on the +5 -1 gets you up to 2307 damage. Sort of a pseudo win con, or a optional win condition if you will. This is a very strong Geogan for the deck. And I did consider running it at 3, but I thought 3 Mantra Pod and 2 Stingzer was the right plan. So 2 copies of Stardock Eye Blast next, 4 energy for +900 B power, just a later game card that gives us a substantial B power boost. I wish it was 4 for 1000 to be honest though. And then I have 3 copies of Aquos Lightning Rain, 5 energy for +700 B power, scan, and then draw a card. The scan's iffy in this build, I don't think it matters too much, but again, drawing into your good cards is what this deck is all about. And then I am using the 1 Toshi I pulled, so 9 energy for a hero. When you play this, you search your deck for any action card and reveal it. Then you put it into your hand, shuffle your deck afterwards. So that is just really cool right there. It's a search. But then it has another effect. So you copy the first action card you play each turn. That gets insane, especially with this Aquos build. The cards that I only have 1 of or 2 of, like my Aquos bubble. Could you imagine copying that, being able to track 2 of your Bakugan and then starting over? It's just kind of battle manipulation and I guess team attack manipulation. This just kind of helps you make sure you can get that Mantra Pod on the team attack. But very powerful hero. I wouldn't recommend using more than 1 because it does have 9 energy. And again, I'm not using something like Dan Kuzo, which just can cheese out cards, or Air Zero. But again, when I go into dual faction decks, probably pairing this in my hero spam deck would be good. Now finishing off the deck profile with the flip cards. 1 copy of Exhilarate, 1 energy to draw a card. 2 copies of Counter Outsiders, 3 energy to block non-Aquos. And then finally 2 copies of Sneaky Squid, 4 energy to block a non-fusion Bakugan, and if you do, you get to draw a card. So that does it for this deck profile for Mono Aquos. Thank you all for watching. I definitely hope you all enjoyed. Until next time, stay safe, drum up, and Bakugan Brawl!